Ruchira Kamboj, ambassador of India to the UN at UNSC, has raised alarm over the terror attack at the Sikh Gurudwara on June 18th in Kabul and said that it is indeed puzzling that the Secretary General's report chose not to take notice of the activities of the several proscribed terror groups in this region, especially those that have been repeatedly targeting India.
It is puzzling to us that the SG's report chose not to take notice of the activities of the several proscribed groups in this region, especially those that have been repeatedly targeting India. Selective filtering of inputs from member states is uncalled for. We do hope that in future iterations of SG's reports, inputs from all member states would be treated on an equal footing. There should be no double standards in dealing with terrorists. It is most regrettable that genuine and evidence-based listing proposals pertaining to some of the most notorious terrorists in the world are being placed on hold.
That was Ruchira Kamboj, their historic ambassador to the UN, the first woman to be given that position. And I'm joined by my colleague Abhishek Jha with more details. Abhishek, in fact, she brought up a lot of issues. She also spoke about the ongoing Israel-Gaza conflict. She spoke about China opposing that terror proscribed list, and also the growing threat of ISIS in Africa, saying there's a threat of it spilling over to India. So that was indeed a very comprehensive and detailed speech made by Ruchira Kamboj, which also criticized the SG's report.
Of course, and this was a very brazen, avoidance of something that has happened. We know that the community, the Sikh minority community in Afghanistan, has especially been marginalized and persecuted from various terrorist groups and organizations. Earlier, it was the Taliban also who used to be opposing to their existence in Afghanistan. But now there are certain terrorist factions who are trying to threaten them and intimidate them to leave Afghanistan. And those terrorist groups have certainly some inkling or some connection with the Pakistani-based larger terror organization. So while referring to this incidents of attack on Gurudwara in Kabul, Ruchira Kamboj, our permanent ambassador in UN, she called this whole SD's report a very uncalled for incident where such incidences have not been even mentioned. It was quite a sharp remark from her side. She also outlined how the organized crime have been fueling the terrorist organization or the terrorist activities across the world, and India has been witness and victim to this, and how those organized criminals who later on become involved in terrorist activities found shelter in our neighboring countries. This was a real reference to Dawood Ibrahim and his gang, who after Mumbai blast, they went in hiding in some part of Pakistan, and Pakistan is still harboring them. India has been raising this issue time and again that Pakistan is protecting some of its most heinous criminals under its security protection. Also, India highlighted how China, who also happens to be current president of United Nations Security Council, has been putting, not letting India prohibit certain dreaded criminals or terrorists in the name of technical hold. And we have known how Masood Azhar was not prohibited under the UN sanctions 1267 rule.
All right. Thank you very much, Abhishek, for those details. On that note, let's